Good morning. Welcome, Reverend Dr. David Goldberg, Unity on the Avenue. And Pamela, thank you for that beautiful prelude music. What a joy it is to be with you once again, wherever this finds you, however this finds you. You are a part of this community. I'm grateful that we are a part of you. Please come, join us, relax as we explore and question and talk and learn together. For those of you watching online, please make a comment. Let us know where you are visiting from, where you are viewing from. Let us know your name and let us know if there's anything on your mind. We love keeping our communication two-way and mutually beneficial, and that's one of the ways that you can help us help you. So let us know where you're viewing from and where you're watching. And as always, for those of you who may be new, we are Unity on the Avenue. We are a radically inclusive community that honors all people, that honors all relational orientations, and that honors all paths to the divine. So wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here by a divine appointment. It is good. It is good, and it is very good. And if you're interested in keeping up to speed with us here at Unity on the Avenue, there is so much going on. My goodness. Just in the month of January, we have our 5 talks on the Unity principles. We have the 5 classes to explore those Unity principles even deeper. We have 4 special events. We have classes, we have offerings, we have prayer services. So please go to our website, unityontheavenue.org, and click on Contact Us and subscribe to our newsletter. We promise not to abuse that, just to continue to inform you of everything that we have going on and a myriad of services to which you might want to avail yourself. So, a little bit more information on what I just shared. This month, every Sunday in January, we're exploring the 5 principles of unity. So whether you are new to unity or new to New Thought, or if you've been in the teaching for decades, this is our opportunity to get back to basics, to say this is who we are and this is who we aren't. And just help everyone understand the unique teaching that unity is in the world and how that might fit into your core belief system and what that looks like and feels like for you. So the 5 Sundays are the 5 principles. The following Wednesday, we're taking a deeper dive into each one of those principles. So even if you haven't joined us the past couple of weeks, no worries. You're welcome to pop in at any time. Again, we do need you to register at unityontheavenue.org so we can send you the Zoom link and make sure that that gets out. So that is the Sunday series, that is the Wednesday class series, and another important highlight, I also want to invite you to our annual meeting. Now, generally, this is held a little bit later in the year, February, March. This year, we wanted to move it early on so we could share with you everything that we went through in 2020, the good, the bad, the interesting, and everything that we're looking toward in 2021. So please go to our website, go to special events, and look for our annual meeting. That's happening today, Sunday, January 17th at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time. It is going to be exciting. We have some new board members, we have some new initiatives, and we want to affirm with you where we are at in our community. We look forward to sharing that. And also, we do want to share with you a program that we're engaged in with our 5 principles and with our 5 classes and with our special events called 5 to Thrive. And that's an invitation for you to step into gifting and tithing and spiritual giving. And maybe that looks like $5 a week over the course of this month, or perhaps through the rest of the year. We'll speak more about that later, but keep an ear open for 5 to Thrive. As I share with you every week, prayer is at the core of what we do here at Unity on the Avenue. And please welcome one of our beloved prayer partners, Opal James, who will lead us in our statement of faith as well as a prayer for this week.
Good morning and welcome to Unity on the Avenue. I would like to start off by reading the statement of faith. There is one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, the omnipotent. And our prayer for this week is the prayer of divine order offered by Lori Smith. I relax and settle into the awareness of my divine nature. In the silence with receptive heart and mind, I am open to ideas and inspirations of the universe. I choose divine orders that are life-affirming and bring forth my heart's desires. Through my power of imagination, I envision the divine ideas as the greatest expression of divine spirit. This intention in mind's eye elicits creative and joyful thoughts, faith in transformation, manifestation. The divine ideas and gratitudes fill my heart for abundance of good in my life, and so it is. Amen.
So as I said, this whole month we're exploring the 5 principles of unity, what that looks like and what that feels like and what those are. And we hope to address some of the questions that you might have around what specifically are those principles, How do those principles make up a belief system? And do those beliefs mesh with my beliefs? So that's really what we're doing here during our Back to Basics series. You know, the 5 principles of unity suggest answers to the great questions of life. And that really is what virtually all of the world's religious traditions are about. Along with philosophy, along with psychology, they help us step into and look at the bigger questions. And what is my role in that as a spiritual being having a human experience? And so, as I have shared, Unity was founded in 1889 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And they had had some healing in their personal lives, and they dedicated their lives to bringing what they knew and their interpretation of metaphysics to anyone who might be interested in working with them and hearing from them. And actually, it wasn't until 101 years later, in 1990, when their great-granddaughter actually codified the process in an article that she wrote for Unity magazine. So there might be some different terminology, there might be a different word here or there might be a different thought, but I just encourage you, don't get lost in the stricture of the structure, if you will. If you have heard it another way, if you learned something a different way, use what works for you, use what fits for you, use what resonates with your soul. Don't lose the message through the messenger or through a particular word. Now, with that being said, when Connie codified her great-grandparents' words, she also created the acronym of OOMPA, right? Remember? Oktoberfest? OOMPAPA, to help us remember those 5 principles. And what that acronym stands for, the first O is omnipresent. That the one power, the one presence, the one spirit is omnipresent in, around, and through all sentient and unsentient beings. So it is that one power, that one ubiquitous presence that is everywhere. The second O we talked about last week is that of oneness. That there is no way that anyone or anything can be outside of the one. And we talked about examples of humans who have showed up in interesting or bad spaces and humans who have showed up in great spaces, and how we are all part of the one. It can simply be no other way. The third piece then in the 5 principles is that of mind. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. More on that in just a second. And then the 4th principle is that of prayer, or I pray. Again, everything that we do here at Unity on the Avenue is based in prayer. So we'll be talking more about that next week. And then the final week in our series, the last Sunday in January, we're going to be talking about action, because it is wonderful to be in that power, in that presence within ourselves and co-creating with the divine. And it is so much more effective when we're able to move it into action. So that's the game plan for the rest of our Sundays in January, leading up to the Super Bowl. Sorry for that very bad metaphor. So then let's explore the 3rd principle, mind, or I create. As spiritual beings having a human experience, we create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. Unity emphasizes the creative power of thought in our life experience. We often refer to this as law of mind action. When we take personal responsibility to choose life-affirming thoughts and words and deeds, we experience more fulfilling and abundant lives. Henry Ford is known for saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So whatever you're thinking, that is what you are pulling in. That is what you are manifesting. You see, my friends, our thoughts have power. Yes, we all have thoughts that come and go, thoughts that we cling to, thoughts that we think about repeatedly, over and over in bed, when we're awake, when we're in other activities, when we should be listening to the minister at church. And you see, that becomes a part of our spiritual DNA, and it has immense power. Those beliefs determine how we respond to everything in our lives. And yes, bad things can happen to good people because we are all a part of that human experience. It is all what we do with what is happening, how we hold it, how we carry it, how we move through the world that determines our true experience. We can hold a situation as proof of our unworthiness, or hold it as an example of our strength, our faith, and our courage. You see, beloved, it is all up to you. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. We do not manifest every thought we have, only those thoughts that we hold in thought and infuse with our power of faith and imagination. What has been created by one kind of thought can be changed by an opposite thought. So I don't know about you, when I'm having a human moment and something drops in, and I consciously decide that's not who I am, that's not how I want to show up, I will say out loud, erase, 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 and then repeat what I know to be true at the core of my being. So you see, we can constantly edit, we can constantly upgrade, we can constantly increase the vibration within ourselves and what we are bringing to the planet. So, get from where you are by where you want to be by using the power of your mind. There is a power in the universe greater than you, and you can use it. That's the good news. And you know, as I have been researching this series, it has brought such great joy for me to learn more about the Fillmores and to learn more about Unity. And members of our thriving book group here at Unity on the Avenue, as well as a number of congregants and volunteers and chaplains, have been requesting what I'm reading or what I'm looking at or things that are informing my talks. So I do have a couple of examples for you here today. The first one that I'm finding fascinating is the Unity movement, its evolution and spiritual teachings. And that is by Neil Vahale, V-A-H-L-E. It's a great book, a whole lot of detail on unity, some wonderful stories. And then, of course, where would we be without our founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore? And I'm loving The Essential Charles Fillmore. And it is collected writings of a Missouri mystic. Isn't that a beautiful alliteration? And that is by commentary by James Gaither, another really great book. And finally, Charles's wife and a co-founder of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore. It's been said that Myrtle actually came to the teaching and the understanding first, and she shared it with Charles. And I really appreciate this book on Myrtle's healing letters. She literally wrote thousands of letters by hand, responding to people who wanted information and asking her thoughts and her ideas. And this is just a gem of a book as well. So that's a bit about what is informing this series for me. And you know, the other thing that I appreciate is always everything is on an energetic spectrum. And we as humans are on an energetic spectrum. So we are born with two contradictory sets of instructions, a conservative tendency and an expansive tendency. So I love the concept of creativity, and that is actually what my PhD work is in. It's leadership studies with a concentration in creativity, diversity, and social justice. So I'm blessed to have been able to take the time to explore what creativity looks like, how it comes to be, leaders in the field, and all of those many experiences. And I became very fond of an academic by the name of Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi. Now, please don't ask me how to spell that, but if you just Google CZ, you'll pull up his name. He's the individual that's actually credited with identifying and coining the term flow, or being in the flow. And he wrote a book by the same name. He also wrote another wonderful book called Creativity with the subtitle Flow and the Psychology of Discovery and Invention. So what he did over the course of 5 years, he and a number of colleagues and research assistants identified people who were creative within their particular industries or businesses or fields of work. And they interviewed them, looking for the common themes and the golden threads, if you will. Now, I won't spoil his books for you, but I really appreciate one of his approaches where he shares part of what they learned, what he codified as cultivation of curiosity of interest, or curiosity and interest. So how do you cultivate curiosity? How do you cultivate interest? Well, based on his 5 years of research with creative people in many fields, this is what he identified, or this is what he suggests. First, try to be surprised by something every day. Now, isn't that a joy? And maybe it's a big aha, and maybe it's a little moment that tickles your funny bone. Or, for me, I'm a big fan of Jeopardy, and I learn a lot just from the questions and the answers on Jeopardy. It's like, I didn't know that. And on the rare occasion, I am learning corrected information. So it's good. Try to be surprised by something every day. His second suggestion is try to surprise at least one person every day. Now, this is different from scaring somebody. We're not looking to cause anybody a health challenge. Maybe you show up differently. Maybe you cook breakfast. Maybe you sleep in. Maybe you make the bed. Maybe you offer a prayer. Maybe you send a text of love and caring and happiness and joy. Surprise somebody by showing up differently. And then Csikszentmihalyi suggests capturing those surprises in a journal. Capture how you surprised yourself and capture how you surprised somebody else. And then finally, and here I think is the key, my friends, he says, when something strikes a spark of interest, follow it. Maybe it's something that you knew. Maybe it was a dormant interest from childhood or from young adulthood. Maybe it's something that's brand new to you. A friend was just sharing how she, just this week, became aware of the concept of gratitude, or a gratitude journal. And she is loving capturing everything that she is grateful for before she goes to bed at night. So when something strikes a spark, follow it. See where it leads. See where it takes you. The writer Lynn Wilson writes, "What I've learned about faith and what I've learned about creativity is really the same thing. This isn't to say that only those with faith are creative, or that those who are creative have faith in God, because often neither is true. People without faith can be creative, and people with faith can be utterly uncreative. But to engage in the creative process is to have faith." He continues, "It is only as we again begin to create our lives that we discover that the act of faith has made us a new creation. Paradoxically, we find out that our new identity is actually the same identity we were given in the beginning, but made new." As we move forward, my friends, and honor this Monday, the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which is a whole nother brilliant topic that I hope to explore with you soon, I'm actually reminded of Representative John Conyers. Representative Conyers was the one individual who went to the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives 4 days after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in 1968. Representative Conyers stepped forth onto the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives with his idea of honoring Martin Luther King Jr. with a national holiday. It certainly didn't happen then. It didn't happen the next year. It didn't happen the next 5 years. It didn't happen the next 10 years. And yet, Conyers knew at the core of his being that this needed to happen, that this needed to be, that this is how he needed and wanted to honor the late Dr. King, and that this was his to do. And I would share with you that it wasn't until 20 years, actually it was 15 years later, after the death of MLK, and it was actually 20 years since MLK's I Have a Dream speech on the Mall in Washington, D.C., that Representative Conyers again put forth his idea for a national holiday honoring Martin Luther King Jr. And there were objections from different senators, from different members of the House, from different parts of the country. And in that moment, it passed 15 years after Conyers had initially put it forward. And it wasn't until the year 2000 that every state in our union was celebrating and recognizing MLK Day as a national holiday. And Martin Luther King Jr. is the first private citizen to be recognized with a federal holiday. So my point is, what is yours to do? There is divine time and there is human time, and I ask you to listen to your calling. Perhaps it can be done easily and simply in a short amount of time, and perhaps it's a life's work. Thank you, Representative Conyers. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And again, for those who prefer biblical reference, I offer you Luke 6:38. The measure you will give will be the measure you get back. And John 10:38. Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened for you. Please join me in prayer. So I stand in the power and the presence and the energy that is the mind, that is creativity, that is spiritual beings having a human experience, co-creating with the mystical, magical, wonderful, ubiquitous presence that is the divine. I know that we have a role in this. I know that that one power, that one presence that is all of me and I am a part of it, continues to help, to guide, to support, and to move forward. So as we recognize the role of our human minds, of our own creativity, being the eyes, the ears, the hands, and the feet of God in action, I just bless it and call that forward for all of us. It's not daunting, it's not big, it's not huge. It is simply what we have come here to do. So let us relax, let us rest into that, let us allow that to unfold. So on this day, I bless Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and all who have come before, all of those fighting for justice, all of those fighting for our democracy. And yes, we have different opinions and we have different views and we have different perspectives. And our democracy is still an extraordinarily powerful form of government when we participate, when we engage, when we choose whether to respond or to react. So I bless this day. I bless our country as we move into a new phase in our government at every level. I bless all who have served. I bless all who are serving and all who are being called to service. And I say thank you. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. All is well. God is magnificent. And so it is. Amen. And now, my friends, it's that time to give where we are spiritually fed. passing the virtual offering plate, if you will. We continue to be so grateful for your gifts, for your tithes, for your offerings that enable us to continue the work that we're doing in bringing this service to you every week, along with so many other beautiful opportunities to continue to gather, to be supported in spiritual community. So please, as we were suggesting before, the 5 to Thrive campaign, if you haven't contributed, we invite you into a contribution of $5. It's simple, it's easy, and hopefully you will find that you are constantly supported in that effort. You can click on our donate button on the website. You can mail us a check. You can see any of the other opportunities for you to give through the slide on your screen. And now, please join me in our blessing of tithes and offerings, and either holding that gift or tithe to your heart or perhaps just your hands. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
This is a song by Denise Rosier.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
With the heart of God within me, I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest in the peace of God within me. Everything, everything praises God within me. With the mind of God within me, I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust with the power of God within me. Everything, 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 everything praises God within me.
Just one more reminder that our annual meeting is coming up very shortly, 11:30 a.m. today, Sunday, January 17th. You need to go to our website, unityontheavenue.org, look for the information, get signed up. We'll send you the link, and then we can all come together in support of this beautiful spiritual community and address some of the business considerations from 2020 and moving forth into 2021. Bless you. Thank you. Bless you for allowing us to support you on your path. Thank you for coming together as a part of this glorious community. Please join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Go in power. Go in peace.
good things coming, 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 coming. I believe in the good things coming, 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 coming. Out of darkness, light heart pumping, 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 pumping. Into white light, all things running, 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 running. Who have I been? Who am I becoming? Coming, 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 coming. Take a walk with the cedars humming, cityscapes, sunset starting. Every empty space is filling, every kindled fire is burning. I believe in the good things coming, 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 coming. I believe in the good things coming, 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 coming. Out of darkness, flying heart pumping, 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 pumping. Into white light, all things running, 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 running. Who have I been? Who am I becoming? Coming, 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 coming. I believe in the good things coming, 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 coming. I believe in the good things coming, coming, coming.